Hello, America. It's your wake-up call from the Ohio Militia. Who else would you expect? Listen, people, this is an AR-15, as you can see. It's not an airsoft. It's just one of these, as a lot of people don't realize, at your local gun store, okay? Semi-auto, of course, because full auto is illegal, unless you have a Class 3 license. So, ask yourself, why do you not have one of these? You think everything's gonna be okay forever? Do you think that, America could never be invaded by another country? Do you think that perhaps our country is so much better than perhaps what the Nazis were trying to do? Well, we all know what happened to the Nazis. We see through the bullcrap. I run the website, aloy0102. In layman's terms, that's www.ohiomilitia.com. Our country is in peril, and whether it be the North American Union, the decline in the stock market, or a number of things could definitely go wrong. And seems like it's just a matter of time. It's a ticking time bomb. And what are you as an American, you out there, what are you people doing? What are you preparing? Do you have canned food stocked up? Have you thought about perhaps saving water, or you just think it's gonna run out of your faucet for the rest of your life? Are you a true patriot? What do you do as a patriot? Do you get into politics? Do you vote? Do you do anything? Not enough Americans are waking up, and not enough Americans are doing something about the current situation that we're in. And I think a lot of that reason is because a lot of people don't realize that there is something to stand up against. They don't realize that anything's wrong. The militia is necessary these days, as it has been throughout history. A lot of people don't realize that the militia, in fact, won the Revolutionary War. Because contrary to what some people might believe, there was no United States Army in the time of the Revolution. You have the right to keep and bear arms, unless you, of course, are a felon. And go out, buy a gun, okay? They're not that expensive, okay? You can get a gun, save up, put one on layaway at Dunham's. I know I've done it on more than one occasion. Buy lots and lots of ammo for these guns, okay? And do you think that, that there's gonna be an army platoon stationed outside your house when shit hits the fan? Because, guess what? There's not. There's gonna be no one to protect you. I just wanted to introduce myself. Once again, I'm Pale Horse.
Don't make a sound. Mute atmosphere.
We've all seen images like these, terrorists training in distant lands. This kind of thing, though, is also going on right here at home. They're not branches of Al-Qaeda. They're right-wing extremists with lots of guns and an axe to grind against the U.S. government. We have an in-depth report right now on the growing threat from these militias. Brian Todd is here with more on what he's learning.
Well, if you'll remember in the 1990s, these groups were blamed for espousing the ideology put into practice by that Oklahoma City bomber Timothy McVeigh. Now, a new report claims anti-government militias could be making a significant comeback. A posting on YouTube attributed to the Ohio Militia.
Listen, people. Things are bad. Things are real bad. And it's going to get a lot worse. So basically, if people need to wake up, start buying some of these, see?
The video is an example of how militias are making a comeback, according to a new report from the Southern Poverty Law Center.
We're at a very worrying moment, in my view. We're seeing a kind of perfect storm of factors that favors the continued growth of this movement. We're talking about non-white immigration, a black president, an economy that is in very dire straits.
A Homeland Security assessment in April said recent arrests indicate the emergence of small, well-armed extremist groups in some rural areas. How dangerous are they?
It's a number of groups, almost far too numerous to mention, regrettably so. but some of them indeed want to do what happened in Oklahoma City, that is, commit violent acts within the homeland.
The government's intelligence assessment said lone wolves and small terrorist cells embracing violent right-wing extremist ideology are the most dangerous domestic terrorism threat in the United States. A leader of the Michigan militia told us members of established militias like his, which do training on firearms and first aid, shouldn't be lumped in with violent extremists who talk about mounting attacks.
That's not something we want to tolerate. You know, we're not going to let any innocent Americans get hurt.
He described their ideology as pro-freedom and pro-constitution, not anti-government.
I don't mean to suggest that all of these people out there with these kinds of ideas are killers. I think that's absolutely clearly not true. But does this movement produce people who engage in criminal actions, and sometimes really terrifying one? I think that's unquestionable.
Several high-profile criminal suspects have been linked to racist or right-wing ideology recently. The alleged shooter of 3 Pittsburgh police officers killed in April, the man charged with killing a Kansas abortion doctor in May, and the alleged gunman at the Holocaust Museum in Washington in June. The election of the first African-American president is serving as an extremist recruiting tool, according to the Department of Homeland Security. Law enforcement sources tell CNN, while Barack Obama had a significant number of threats during his campaign, since his swearing in, it's not been much different from previous presidents. Still, a former Secret Service agent tells us,
I think the historical nature of this presidency is certainly something the Secret Service and the whole country is aware of.
Good evening, my fellow patriots and Americans. Greetings and salutations. I come to you today from South Florida. This is a message to all the media and all the corrupt politicians and people across the nation that are labeling the militia that is rising in the United States racist. We are not rising against you because the President of the United States is black. First of all, he's not even the President of the United States. We do not recognize his authority. We do not recognize his presidency. It's an abomination. It's what it is. And the fact that you're trying to label militias, patriots, constitutionalists, rebels across the nation racist is only a way of demonizing our cause. Americans, fellow patriots, do not listen to these lies. Do not listen to what they're trying to label the Ohio Militia, the American Resistance Movement, or any other militia and hard-working patriots in the country. We are working hard towards freeing you from this tyranny, from the lies that they are feeding you, from the machine that they have you connected to. The federal banking reserve is illegal. They control the media in the country, and they pump out what they want you to think. But the reality is that all of us in this movement, I myself am a descendant of 2 immigrants. Both of my parents are Cuban, but I was born in this great country, and so I am American. My blood runs red, white, and blue. And don't forget that. Don't forget that, Obama. This isn't because you're black, because there's black in my blood. There's black people in this movement. There's Latin people in this movement. This is not a rising of militia groups. This is a rising of the free people of the world against tyranny, against your oppression, against your control, and trying to take over the world with a fascist regime. This has nothing to do with racism. And now you have another charge of treason against the people by trying to label patriots anything but patriots, constitutionalists, people that have sworn to protect this country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And as far as us resistance people see it, as far as everyone in this patriot movement see it, you, the United States government, is now representing that domestic threat. And we must protect our sovereignty. We must protect our freedom. This is nothing but a ploy to try to declare martial law in this country and claim that the patriots are the cause of this. We are trying to protect you, America. We're trying to protect you from unjust bills like the cap and trade bill. We're trying to protect you from socialist medical reform. We're trying to protect you from police brutality and fascist behavior. Do not let these criminals convince you otherwise. Power to the Second American Revolution. Power to the armed resistance movement. We are on the rise. Rise, great people of freedom. Revolution is at hand.